Here we are, my absolute dream shed is more or less completed. It's taken us just over a year to get it all done, but I'm just going to give you a quick show around it. It's obviously been a massive financial strain for us, but hopefully it will all be worthwhile. Obviously we're not going to be able to just go and fill it with another 60 or 70 cows because we'll never have enough silage and grass for them, but it will make things a lot more efficient and just hopefully make life a lot easier for us. I'll try and cram in as much as possible in a quick video here. So here she is. First of all, we've dug out about 10,000 tonne of soil, dirt, sort of stone. About 4,000 tonne got dug out before that we built the slurry store on top, and then a wee bit for the cattle handling pens, and then about 5,000 tonne for here. This bit here is for storage, hopefully tipping lime, straw in, fertiliser. With that, hopefully we'll be able to buy fertiliser when it's a bit cheaper, even more straw when it's cheaper, and be able to have it in stock ready to go when we need. And the rest of the shed is for cows. Might end up needing to use this bit as a calving sort of overflow pen. We haven't put any cladding down this side as the wind normally comes this way, but we've got brackets on just in case we do need to put some sort of cladding on there. The shed has been erected by Neil Jimison Construction. It was made by Fowler and Gilbert. The internals have done by a local engineer, Neil Tennant of C&C Tennant. Neil Jimison also done all the groundworks to prepare for the concrete. As a previous video, we've got stainless steel water troughs.
What are you up to?
Just the final touches, getting the troughs on. These are our troughs. I think Wilson Agri they're called. We got them from David Glendinning. They're stainless steel and they've got these valves on them that they can empty quickly.
Alright, cool.
So you can put a bucket in there and then clean them out quickly, and then we can maybe put the buckets in the calving cubes that are going to be out the back wall there, and then it saves putting like a dirty bucket inside them to get the water out.
Yeah.
But I was having trouble sealing that one there, and that's why it's all wet, but I think I've got it now. But
yeah.
I was having a problem with this one leaking, but I got it adjusted and we're all good now. Made all the gates so we can handle sheep in here as well. Plan is through the summer we'll have a good sort of 3 or 4 inches of like sawdust in here, and the sheep and lambs won't be able to get underneath the barriers. This is the only design I could come up with for the gate, so we don't have any eyelets sticking out, and this gate can be all the way around. We've got a socket here and eyelets here that we can split this pen into two, but hopefully a lot of the time it'll be one big pen and the cows will get in and out that gate, this gate or that gate. When it splits up, it'll be split up with the hurdles across there in one gate and split up like this. This pen up here is for the calf creep. So when it's in its position, this gate, both these gates will be round here. Like so, and like so, to let the calves in, and so the sheep and lambs don't try and get through the calf creep. Neil's came up with this genius design. I had all the ideas, I knew exactly what I wanted. I just never knew how Neil could do it, but he's came up with it for us. Rollers on the calf creep, so the rollers spin when the calves go through, and verticals that can all come out, just in case a cow ever gets stuck in there. Liftable hinges, so when the dung comes up. Maybe a wee mistake here, but it's hard getting everything right from the start. This post here, stanchion here should have really been over a wee bit further, but to compromise, we've just put that curb and that gate on at a slight angle. But hopefully that'll push all the slurry and slitter into there when we're scraping up. Now, as I say, we're going to be working with sheep through here. I set a mobile pen somewhere. I have ideas, but we won't go into that too much. So for the sheep, we have these bars that drop down. This bar here is really so the calves don't try and hop through. And then we've got two bars that spin round from the other side to stop sheep jumping through. And then when they're up, they're there. It's lower at this side for calves reaching over. Maybe if anything it could have been 1 or 2 inches higher, similar to that side, but it's hard getting a compromise that we back end born calves can reach as well. Spaces are slightly narrower here, but we have one bit that can come out if we're ever needing a bull in here. He can get his head through. Two off the gate swing open. This one to let the calves or whatever's in this pen straight into the cattle handling pens, and that pen does the same. These bars here are higher for the cows reaching over, and then these bars here just fold up. So cow position, sheep position to stop the sheep jumping through. This side here has all been done by baitmen. They're a lot cheaper, the baitman barriers, but they won't be as strong, but they'll do the job fine. The baitman barriers don't have the fold down barriers on them, but what they do have is these tubes and brackets, so they'll just get bolted on, maybe about this position when the sheep are in here, and maybe about this position when it's calves in here, to try and stop the calves ever thinking they're going to jump through. But they do have a smaller space that way as this way. I've made all these big enough that a bull can put his head through at any space. As for lights, we have just used very cheap lights. They're dome mining down lights, 150 watt, and they were £12.50 plus VAT each. On Neil's barriers, we've put a bit of angle iron at the bottom of them. There isn't as much flex in them, and an angle iron's not going to rot the same as over time. That bit of box section there, it will rot. So since we've been able to dig all this out, we've just had a shuttered wall all the way up here, but now we've been able to obviously remove the shutter wall, and we've got the feed barriers up, and then we've now been able to split this into 3 pens, so I can feed things accordingly, and also they can always still get silage. Whereas before they could only get silage out that hopper at the end. It will be removed as soon as the concrete cures so we can get in. So how we're going to justify it. We have a shed called the kennels. Here it is here. Here we are. This is the shed that we call the kennels. I don't think it's featured on the channel before. It sits away from the farm a wee bit, and it's just getting past its best. There's wooden cubicles in here that are deteriorating. But it has its plus points. I think it's very good, the cattle getting in and out. So they get bulled on the straw bedded courts where it's not as slippy for the bulls working, and then they move down here. And this feed passage, we scrape it up every sort of 4 or 5 days down into a lagoon down here. But if we get a lot of rain, it can fill the lagoon up pretty quickly. It only holds about 7,000 gallon. So yeah, just a lot of work involved in this shed, but it served us well up till now. The idea with the new shed is maybe to stop using this shed quite so much anyway. A wee tiny narrow calf creep in it, but you can hardly get in that with a forklift to muck it out. Yeah, they all seem fairly content now. And inside of the kennels, a few calves still to come through. No much room in there. And down at the kennels, I always put the cattle fairly good condition when they go down, but I'm always disappointed how they come out the kennels in the spring, especially the younger cows. They're always a bit on the lean side. The shed's needing a lot of work done to it. It's needing a new roof. It sits away from the farm. I'm probably wasting about 3 hours a week just going up and down there. So the autumn calvers are going to get bulled in the new shed and another 2 straw bedded courts. That frees off 1 straw bedded court for any cows to go in that we don't want to bull. Currently, every cow back in calver really needs bulled because we don't have somewhere that we can put a cow, young calves and a creep feed. Going forward, it's going on and on here a bit, but if anybody's interested, most of these cows start calving the end of April. Heifers start calving just any day now, they're bagging up. We want to start calving everything quicker, basically now, from now on, so we're calving and lambing at the same time when I have students here to help us. So ideally, my spring calving cows come in, a lot of them will get weaned straight away. The cows will be eating a lot less silage and we'll be able to feed the calves easier with concentrates. Then halfway through the winter, or about, well, not quite halfway, January time, the spring calving cows go into the new shed, and the back end calving cows, instead of going to the kennels, once they're bulled on straw, they move into here. So we'll maybe have like 2 pens of back end calving cows, the calf creeps at the back, and maybe 1 pen of late calving spring cows. It will hurt me to start with financially because any of these cows that are not calving in May and even June, they will really need evicted. Some of them onto the straw. We can keep some in this pen. Other ones will need to go in the straw, so it's a long time to keep them from weaning time until January to calving them in May on straw. But going forward, we'll hopefully be able to tighten everything up. And yeah, just make everything a bit better. Even our empty spring calving cows or spring early summer, we've only sold 1 of them so far as a cast cow. We've got 4 going tomorrow. Here they are. The 4 cows that are going away tomorrow. All 4 of these have came with us from our previous farm, so we're a wee bit emotionally tied to them. Just need a wee clip up tomorrow morning before they go, and that'll be them. We have 2B, had their first calf in 2012. 9X, first calf in 19. 9L, first calf in 2019. And 9H, first calf in 2019. And they are 714 kilos, 870 kilos. I hope she's not overweight. 816 kilos and 776 kilos. If anybody's wanting to have a guess at how much they make, because this video will be out before we have the prices back. Feel free, I don't have anything to offer, but base price is £5.60. We'll keep these girls here for another few weeks, and then they'll be going the same road. It's always a wee bit emotional. That's the way that we want them to leave, not the other way. Just an update on the calf that died. We had the vet out and post-mortemed it, and it's had an obstruction in its bowel duct. Now I don't really know what that means, but it's a complete one-off, a complete freak thing to happen, so there we have it, unfortunately. But sometimes there's not much you can do for them. And the cows, I just feel like they should have been long gone by now. We really should have brought them in, been able to wean them, which we really were struggling to, and then feed the cows accordingly and get them away before now, whereas we're waiting and waiting until we've got space for them, weaning the calves and then feeding the cows. But they could have been gone by now, these sort of things. So yeah, all about efficiency. And maybe if we can start calving a bit earlier, then we've got more help with the students at calving and lambing at the same time, and then we're not going to be calving as many cows into the summer. Maybe more chance of a holiday. That's basically it. If it's interesting to anybody, give us a thumbs up. Cheers.